Hi everyone and welcome. I am Gloria Lafont with Action Marketing and I help promotional product distributors sharpen their marketing to increase leads and sales using digital marketing and automations so they can grow their business consistently. And I want to thank you for joining today's session, the mid-year reset, plan now, profit later, finish strong. And this is a practical strategy focused session designed to help you take meaningful action now to make the most of the busy season ahead and all the opportunities so you're not scrambling in Q4 or sleepwalking into 2025. I know many times you think about all these things you could have done and you see these opportunities pass you by when you're in November and December because you didn't take action soon enough. I see this in the Facebook group year after year. So I thought I'd do this webinar to help you plan ahead. So for those of you who don't know who I am a woman trying to figure it all out. My family comes first. That's my family there, my kids, my grandkids. But I'm also an entrepreneur. In 2007, I started a distributor business. I joined the chamber. I started networking. I had a physical location and I very quickly built my business. And one of the things that I did was also promote my business online, which was literally unknown, something that nobody knew how that worked. I didn't know how that worked, but I started experimenting with it because I always thought you had to advertise. And at that point, newspapers, which was what I usually did, I knew was not going to work anymore. So I started looking for ways to promote my business. So I started a distributor company. So I have been in your shoes. Now, I'm a former distributor. As I said, I sold my business in 2015, and I'm also working with distributor businesses across the USA since 2016. I have been a promo kitchen mentor. I have been a board member at my local association. I've been a volunteer at PPAI and a speaker and trainer at PPAI and other industry events. And I've published articles in PPB magazine and promo marketing publications. I believe in this industry. It's a phenomenal industry, and I really like to help as much as I can move forward, help distributors move forward in their businesses. So right now I have a company providing marketing services for distributors, and it's all strategy based, but we do the whole package: branding and creative, search optimization, advertising campaigns, and technology. And I don't want to get too much into it, but this is what we've been doing for quite a few years already. So today I would like you to, as we're going through the webinar, I would like you to think of three things. Make a note of three things that you can implement right away, that you know that it wouldn't be so hard, and things that kind of click with you. Please make a note and implement, because sometimes you attend webinars, you find all of these great ideas, but you don't implement anything because life gets busy and you just end up not doing anything or putting anything into practice. So I really would love for you to not do this time. My goal is that you leave this webinar with a clear roadmap to take advantage of your client's potential and build momentum for a strong start in the new year. Now, also take notes of the action items that you will implement, as I mentioned, at least, even if it's just one. And also, the questions that you may have will be answered at the end. And if you're listening to the recording, feel free to just post a question right where you see this webinar, and I will be very happy to answer it. So we are going to talk about how to organize and optimize your client database, use self-promo strategically to spark Q4 sales, simple improvements to increase website conversions, and how to automate and scale your marketing and sales. And at the end, I'm going to have some tips on using AI. So first we are going to start with your most valuable underutilized asset, your contact list. If you're like most distributors, your database is a mix of clients, prospects, former customers, and one-time buyers, some of whom have budgets for events, incentives, HR programs, but they haven't heard from you in a while. So you want to change that, and that's what this is all about, because your contact list is one of your most valuable assets. It's your sales fuel, but only if it's clean, categorized, and current. And we are going to talk about how to do that just now. I want to say that you need to use a CRM to be able to do this properly. Most of you have some sort of CRM that you're using. We prefer Zoho CRM, whichever one you're using. If you have the habit of actually using it, that is going to work best for you. And if you don't have one that you're using, we highly recommend you try Zoho out, because it is great value and you can do everything that you need to do to market your business and to contact your clients and automations and so on. So how to organize your client database? So first and foremost, you want to organize your clients in different buckets, because each bucket needs a different treatment. So you want to have active clients. This is just an example. You can do it however you do it, is fine if it works for you, but this is just an example and something that would work for most distributors. You want to have active clients, VIP clients, which are the highest value clients, prospects, those people that you're in contact with but you haven't really sold anything yet, then past and dormant high value clients that you would like to reconnect with, and then lastly some cold leads that you don't know if they're any good even. So these would be some segments to start with that you would want to have. Next, you want to clean your database. And what I mean by that is that you want to go through it and eliminate duplicates. Many times we create duplicates for one reason or another, and we need to clean those out. Also, if you have anybody with incomplete information, sometimes we may have just the email, or we have the name and nothing else. So we want to kind of have a clean list where all the information is complete, and we can have information about any contact at any given time. If you don't have enough information, you could either look for it or just delete the contact. And then we also want to delete all the bounced emails. If you're sending out emails and you're getting bounced backs, especially hard bounces, those people no longer use that email address, so they may have left the job, they're somewhere else, they're no longer at that company, so you want to delete those. And then the last thing that I think is very important is you want to add important details to your contacts. Now, what do I mean by important details? Well, you want to add what industry they're in, events that they bought for last year. Maybe they have a trade show in March and they have a recognition event in October. So you want to have all those noted inside of your CRM. You also want to write down things like product preferences, depending on their industry, depending on their target audience. They may have different preferences. So you know that they like this kind of thing or that kind of thing. So you want to have all of that noted on your client record. Also, their audience. Who is their audience? And it's very important. All of these details are very important. You don't want to have those details on your head, because the more information, the more detail about your client, the organization and the buyer within the organization, because a CRM like Zoho is going to allow you to have information about the company and about the buyer, because many times you have different buyers within an organization, and each buyer may have their product preferences, they have their own events. So it is important that you have these records as complete as possible, as detailed as possible. And then once you have these descriptions like this, all of this information, you can create a description for each account or each client with all this information that you can copy and paste in your favorite AI tool like ChatGPT or Gemini or whatever you're using for when you are working on ideas for the client. You can just plug that in and it's going to really help ChatGPT give you really relevant recommendations for these events and things that you want to present to your client. Now the next point is, this is a good time to start getting your self promos together that you're going to use strategically to spark sales in Q4. You have access to to all the products that you want at incredible prices. You want to take advantage of that, but do it strategically. So basically, this is your moment to shine. This is how you're going to show what you sell in the best possible way. You're going to show them how it's done. And this has to be the objective of your self promo. So a few tips on how to select your self promos. First of all, you want to lead with value. Think of the self promo as a conversation starter. This is something that they're going to receive. They're going to call you, they're going to email you and make a comment on the product, on the products that you sent them, the package that you sent. So you want to make your self promos well thought out and on brand, on your brand. Now send these packages to your top clients and your most promising prospects. Be timely and relevant. Consider items that align with Q4 use cases, recognition gifts, business gifts, high-end business gifts, you name it. So find a way to tie the product to your message. Create a theme for your product and the whole story, and have these self promos kind of tell the story. Basically showing how it's done, giving them ideas. Also make it personal and purposeful. You want to add things like a handwritten note, even if it's just a little postcard thing, and you add something very brief. It's just enough to make it more creative and add that additional touch. You could also add a QR code with that will take people to your holiday catalog or your top gift ideas that you may have a selection on your website, and this QR code can send them to that catalog. Flip catalog, Zoom catalog, whatever catalog you want to use is going to be fine. The point is that you're adding another layer to your self promo so for them to take action. It's also good to include a printed insert that highlights your Q4 packages. For example, a gift wrap, shredded paper. You can help them with all of these additional items, and this is going to represent additional sales for you. So they wouldn't know that you do this unless you tell them, because that's how it works, right? The next thing is use your own brand as a case study. Because when you send a well-executed promo gift, you're not just saying staying top of mind, you're also showing your client exactly how they could be doing the same thing with their customers. And the most important tip that I can give you, don't overthink it. I remember that I had all these items, it was mid-year, and I had all these items when I was a distributor that I had not used. And one of them was a calendar thing, like a pad with a calendar on the side. And I thought, well, come December, I can't reuse this pad. So I sent it, I put a package together, whatever I had. I called it a sample package. Don't even go any further than that. It was August, I guess, when I sent it. And it was amazing how well received that was. Just a very simple pad with a water bottle and some sunglasses. I forget what I added. But you don't need to have a big, very all over the top campaign. Think that this is a smart touch point, and your best clients will appreciate it, and your pipeline will thank you. Now, one more thing about self promos. This is not a physical self promo, but this is something that you have that's accessible to you, which is lookbooks and catalog collections. There are so many that you can have and available, different tools to create these lookbooks, catalog collections that I know Sage has a holiday catalog collection. You can want to create a themed catalog, and then you post it on your website, you send it in emails, you post it on social media, and you can even promote it, you advertising on social media. And this can also be where the QR code that I mentioned before takes your visitor. So the next thing that I'm going to recommend is simple improvements to increase website conversions. You may think that your clients don't go to your website, and you think your website doesn't matter that much or has any major role in your sales. But believe me, your clients do. Your clients go to your website. They go to your website and they want self-serve, easy to navigate, visually appealing web experiences. If they don't find it on your website, they're going to go to your competition website, and that's not a good thing. You may think that it's fine when a client comes to you and says, I found this in XYZ website, can you quote it? That's not a good thing. They should have really stayed on your website and found that on your website, because I bet that same thing is on your website. So this is important. It is important to think of your website as a salesman that is open 24/7. And you have to treat it as such. It could be your best salesperson. And B2B buyers want speed and convenience. They want to go to your website, find what they're interested in. It's not because they're going to buy online. They are not looking to buy online. But they're looking for ideas because they like to do things on their own. They like the self-service part. Even though if they send you an email and they say, hey, find me this, or I'm looking for that, I'm interested in this. But if you're getting emails from your clients asking for products and giving you references to other company websites, you have to fix that. So let's talk about the improvements you can make. So we're going to start with the basics. What are the basics? Check and see if your contact information is easy to find. Update your homepage with a holiday theme. Don't have a clutter of products, ideas. Have it organized, easy to navigate, easy to scan, easy to find the stuff, and update it for the season. And also, if you show testimonials and you show projects, so you want to also add relevant content. So what does that mean? What does relevant content mean? You want to have ideas about high-end business gifts. You may want to have maybe a list of the top high-end business gift ideas. These are just some examples. You don't have to do exactly this. You could also show some new and trendy recognition awards, for example, or 10 holiday gifts your employees will love. So you can have this on your homepage, and your client goes to your homepage and sees that this is really of interest to them, because you're answering a lot of the questions that they have, and this is going to help in conversions. People are going to stay on your website and contact you. And content is extremely important, not any content. And I love this quote by Seth Godin because it is so true. Content is all the marketing there is. And it's not new. That's always been that way, in my opinion and in my experience. So you want to make sure that your content is on point. It speaks to your ideal client, their industry, their interests, and so on. The next thing that you want to look at your website and make sure you have is clear calls to action. So the calls to action would be, for example, request a quick quote, and you want to have a button for people to request a quote, or need gift ideas for Q4 gifts. And then again, that will take you, these are just some ideas to have the call to actions for the button for the contact us page is usually the best way to use this. And then you can have explore marketing kits for your HR program. So think of different titles for these things that are so targeted to your audience interests. Is really what the key is about all this for this to work. So once we have our content improvement and our website improvements, we're going to move on to the automation, how to automate and scale our marketing efforts. This is all about your CRM and putting your CRM to work for you. Automation isn't just for the big guys. It's your shortcut for better follow-ups, smarter campaigns, and less busy work. In today's world of AI and automation of all kinds, there is no reason why you shouldn't take advantage of that. And it doesn't mean that you're never going to answer anybody or that everything is going to be automated. It just means that certain repetitive tasks you can automate, and you can also do things like track key activities. If you have a CRM, it helps you track key activities such as all the calls and emails that you're exchanging with your customers and prospects, product interest and quote requests that you're receiving, presentations that you're sending, and follow-ups, which is very important. So you can track all of that in a CRM very easily, know who you need to call at a given moment, know who you haven't contacted. So this is a way of keeping things a lot more organized and making you more productive. The other thing that I think is a good way to use automation is by using campaigns. By campaigns, I mean a email campaign, could be email marketing campaign. So you can use segmentation and targeting in your campaign, and you can have different types of emails for different types of clients. For example, you can create an email workflow for dormant leads and prospects or clients, back clients. So you want to send them a specific set or sequence of emails to wake them up again. And you can have that done within the CRM, where it automatically sends those emails every few days. And of course, if somebody responds to the email or replies to the email, then it will drop off the sequence because you're going to pick up and have a one-on-one type of follow-up. But all of these things can be done on a system like Zoho and many other systems, so that you can really take advantage of these kinds of automations. The other automation is clients who usually buy in Q4, for example. That would be another idea. That you have some clients don't buy on Q4 and others do. So you want to have, like, those who do, you want to kind of make the most out of it. Make sure that you don't miss one single piece of promotional product that they're looking to buy. Because sometimes the time goes by and they end up not buying anything because they didn't have time, which I know that happened to me. So I know that I'm sure I'm not the only one that this happened to. Also, first-time buyers, somebody buys for the first time, you need to put them in some kind of a email sequence so that they buy again. And so these things kind of separate the different types of situations that you may have. And you can have more than this. These are just examples of different types of situations and circumstances that you want to have certain email workflows to follow up. And one more before I forget is leftover budget. How many clients don't contact you at December 20th or 25th or 30th because they need to spend XYZ amount of money and you have to come up with something. So you want to or they don't contact you because it's too late. So this is a good idea to have those emails done. And now the thing with this is that you can create these automations and these emails now and then put them to work later. You don't have to wait until the end of the year to remember to send a leftover budget reminder because you're going to be busy and you're going to forget. But if this is already in the works and on the schedule, then it's very easy to do. So the other thing that you can do that I think is great is to set up automation sequences. Now what that means is you create an email marketing campaign and you're going to have promotions, not so much as before where you are you're sending emails as a one-to-one type of email. This is more of a mass email. So you would create some campaigns already, email marketing campaigns. For example, Q4 promo countdown, right? For example, and a last minute holiday gift ideas that you can send in October. You can have all this scheduled and have the suppliers in mind. Some suppliers are great at quick delivery, so you can tie those things in. And then you can have a new year planning kit. A lot of companies have a meeting at the beginning of the year where they're going to launch the new products and goals for the year and this kind of thing. One of my bigger clients had these meetings. I didn't know anything about it because they kind of did the meeting and they didn't really give anything out. So when I found out, the next year I asked what the theme for the meeting was, and I presented some ideas for the meeting, for the kickoff of the year, and that added another sales. Many times we don't know that there are things that they're doing and they're using leftover products or things like that. But if you come in and provide ideas ahead of time, it could very well turn into a sale that you didn't have. So the whole point here is that even a simple 3 email automated nurture sequence can create consistent client touch points that are going to lead to sales. Now I want to just give you a few tips on how to use AI. Maybe you're already using AI for some of these, but I just thought I just run through it really fast. So you can generate gift ideas. You can, based on like I mentioned before, if you have a description of the client, audience, type of products they prefer, and things like that, you plug it into your ChatGPT and ask, give me some gift ideas. It's going to take a few minutes rather than a long time, which is, you and I know how long it takes to sit there and prepare a presentation for a client. You could also, this can save you a lot of time and really start the conversation and keep it going with the client. You could also produce content for your website. Be a little thoughtful about it because it has to be valuable to your reader. That's the most important thing. It has to really provide value, meaning answer questions, makes good suggestions, and then this content that you produce, that you put on your website, you could also share on newsletters and on social media. It is also super helpful to write headlines. Write your email sequences. You can say, hey, write me 5 email sequences for people that I need to reconnect with. You could also write social media posts and write the newsletters. Analyze types of events and products that your clients buy for. You can have them look through your CRM and make a summary of the different types of opportunities that you can have, that you can explore. And by the way, Zoho CRM is integrated with ChatGPT in particular, so they have very, very strong AI use component in there. So that would be all for today. To recap, we talked about how to organize and optimize your client database, use self-promo strategically to spark Q4 sales, simple improvements to create website conversions, how to automate and scale your marketing and sales, and at the end we talked about tips on using AI. So again, pick 3, or even if it's 1, it is going to a big difference in your results. It is going to have a big impact. Sometimes we don't realize it, but things that we add to our system and our methodology, even if it's just one at a time, is going to make a big difference. And with that, I want to thank you very much for your time today. I hope this was valuable and that I provided some good ideas, some things to implement. And if you need any help, contact me. I'm on the socials, so you can contact me, ask me any questions, and I'll be glad to connect with you. I'd love to connect with you. And there's my information. You can find me everywhere. And I hope to see you soon. Bye for now.